What's up, everybody? Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. What's up, everybody? Come on in. Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. We'll get started in a little bit. What's up, C.I. Love? Welcome to the channel. Y'all come on in. What's up, Brandon? We'll give him another minute. We'll get started, y'all. What's up, Marquise? What's up, our team? All right. How about we begin? How about we start getting it in now? They'll come in when they come in. How about that? Well, now, I wanted to do a second installment to the Gnostic Gospel series because I found out more information. I went deep into the Gnostic teachings and pulled out some unique things that, in my eyes, warranted a second lecture. You see what I'm saying? Like, nah, I need to do another one because there's way more to this than I thought. So let us begin. Let us begin. Let us discuss the secret. Like always, a Gnostic. What up, Malcolm? This is a Gnostic lecture, so we got to talk about what is Gnosticism. Gnosticism is the last true science of the ancient Jedi's. You see what I'm saying? The Coptic Egyptians, the last of the Sumerians, the Sufi, the last of the Persians, all came together. You see what I'm saying? To produce this work. And, they produced Gnosticism, Greek mythology, even a little Norse mythology. But these are some of the last sciences that was produced before the end of the age. And Gnosticism is the last true one. You see what I'm saying? It's the biggest one out of the three. You see what I'm saying? We got Greek mythology, but they never even completed Greek mythology. Because Greek mythology talk about what's happening in the now, in this cycle. In Norse mythology, they completed what they talk about. Norse mythology is they completed by talking about Ragnarok, which is the cycle, which I've talked about before. Now, what are they? Who were these beings? These Egyptians, everybody. Who were they? They were. You see what I'm saying? They held out of the ancient mystery systems of ancient Egypt, Atlantis, Nubia, Ethiopia, or the Kushite Empire. You see what I'm saying? Sumeria. From the good old days all the way back to Lemuria. You see what I'm saying? But definitely Atlantis. And so you got a lot here with this Gnostic teaching. And of course, the reason why Gnosticism still such a complete teaching is because they found these codices, and which they call the Nag Hammadi Library in Egypt. Guy found it. And, he found it in the desert while traveling, and he thought it was a jinn, which is just a deity. So some nature spirits, demonic forces, melanin, the usual. But it actually turns out to be these codices, which he gave to the scholars of the age, and he was awarded credit for that. And you got a lot of the ancient teachers still, incomplete. And you come to find out that a lot of the other myths were trying to explain this, but they weren't complete. You see what I'm saying? They was getting there, but they never fully told you what it was. But Gnosticism came along and told you exactly what it was for this age. You see what I'm saying? They completed what they started in Gnosticism. So, how does it start off? Well, in the beginning, you have, of course, the creator, Primordial. And the creator is, at this time, still becoming more aware of itself, still learning about itself, still diving into itself, learning. You see what I'm saying? Growing, becoming more of a creator than it was a few seconds ago. You see what I'm saying? If there is a such thing as seconds when we're dealing with this. Now, it decides to create in its what it likes to call the pleroma, what the Gnostics call the pleroma, which is its infinite mind. It's infinite, is that omniversal canvas that all things are created on. This is the creator's mind. You see what I'm saying? The primordial realm. You see what I'm saying? This is what we call the pleroma. Now, how did he advance this? Well, this was the conflict with the creator. It was trying to figure out how to become more of a creator than it already was. And what answered the call for that desire was us, the souls. That's when we self-generated or self-willed ourselves into existence at the call of this, this desire of the creator wanted to become more of a creator than it was before. When all the souls, millions, limitless amounts of souls manifested themselves, they then will go on. The creator would tell them to go forth and create. After that, the force awoken. You see what I'm saying? That's when the force awoken. And through this force, they will go on to produce what you could like to call aeons. You see what I'm saying? They started in the quantum world and worked their way up. And these aeons, these primordial spheres of consciousness, realms of consciousness were produced. You see what I'm saying? They were produced. So now you got we originally thought it was like anywhere from 30 to 36 spheres, but when you get into other teachers of the pleroma, you find out it's 365 spheres. You see what I'm saying? And what I came to realize while studying this is there may be way more than that. It could be infinite. You see what I'm saying? Because we talking about the mind of the creator who's been creating for aeons. You see what I'm saying? Aeons. So we talking about infinite amounts of consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Spheres of consciousness, realms, dimensions, realities, planes of existence. You see what I'm saying? Universes and galaxies and cosmos. You see what I'm saying? Planetary solar systems and so on and so forth. We talking about trillions upon trillions upon trillions of these planets and everything in existence. So you see what I'm saying? So now, what up, Brian? So now, what's happening next? It's the infinite mind of the creator. We now have established that there are 365 aeons of the pleroma. Now, they are all governed by a chief, what they call Archons Angel or deity. You see what I'm saying? Each one is ruled by a chief deity. Like they show you in the clip-off. You see what I'm saying? In the clip-off, they're not governed by principles. They're governed by actual deities, archetypal energies. You see what I'm saying? That's what they were showing you in the clip-off. Whereas the clip-off is a simplistic rendition of the cosmos. Whereas the Kabbalah is the rendition, is a simplistic rendition of this material world. You see what I'm saying? This material dimension that we're living in. And the Amentian dimension as a whole, with all the other planets here. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you're dealing with that. Now, we now ask, what is the soul? You see what I'm saying? We hear this a lot. What is soul, Marv? What is soul? What is it? It's immortal consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Eternal, everlasting consciousness. You see what I'm saying? That continues to evolve as it incarnates in lives all across the cosmos. You see what I'm saying? That's what a soul does. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you're dealing with here. This is what you're dealing with. Next, we get into what happened. You see what I'm saying? After the 300, it was 364 spheres of consciousness created. Now we get to the 364th sphere, which is Sophia, esoteric wisdom. That's what we represent. Now, Sophia being the farthest or furthest away from the creator at this time period, at this time, if there is such a thing, wanted to create like the creator. So she began to create her own creations without, the permission and, the permission and, what's the word I'm looking for? When you write off something, you give it your permission, you give it your stamp of approval without the creator's approval. You see what I'm saying? So since she created without the creator's approval, then all the necessary things that was needed for her creation wasn't there. So she created an incomplete creation, and the first thing she created was this lion-headed being with a serpent-like body and 6 angel wings, which we call Yaldabaoth, who will become the demiurge. And the demiurge is nothing but the celestial ego. That's all it is. And ego just means to edge God out. You see what I'm saying? Now, horrified at her creation, she created a 365th sphere, and she placed Yaldabaoth in it. And when he gained consciousness of what was going on around him, he was like, oh, I must be the only God. So he began to create. You see what I'm saying? This material universe, this material world, this a material dimension. You see what I'm saying? Which we know is the Armentian dimension. You see what I'm saying? So when it begins to create this dimension, build it up, do what needs to be done to it, Of course, the next thing after he created the stars and the planets and the suns and everything in this particular universe, next he decided to take his hand at creating beings. Living, breathing beings. Like they tell you in the Bible, living, breathing beings. You see what I'm saying? Now, what happened here is he created them, but he couldn't bring them to life because he didn't have that level of creation. You see what I'm saying? He couldn't, because he didn't have that divine spark inside of him. He could mold them, but he couldn't bring them to life. You see what I'm saying? So the creator, being in this infinite wisdom, the source of all, you see what I'm saying, decided to discharge its divine spark, its divine light into these bodies and bring them to life. You see what I'm saying? And it also breathed its holy breath, which is the life force, into these bodies, giving them the energy to animate themselves. You see what I'm saying? When this happened, then these beings came to life. And upon this realization, when Yaldabaoth seen this light, this is the first time he actually looked up. It said this is the first time he actually looked up as he seen the light come down. This divine sparks come down and animate these human souls. You see what I'm saying? These human bodies. You see what I'm saying? And from that point on, he got jealous. You see what I'm saying? Like, whoa, there are other gods besides myself. How dare they come into my realm and fucking bring my creations to life? You see what I'm saying? So that's where you get all the stories from, like Lucifer didn't bow to the human, didn't bow to Adam and and Eve, or Cadmon and the Kabar and the Sumerian teachers. You get all those stories. Halal tricking them in the Garden of Eden. All this is the Yaldabaoth. All this is the Yaldabaoth energy. You see what I'm saying? The demiurgian energy. You see what I'm saying? Because in his eyes, the human body is his creation, but the divine soul inside of you, the divine spark inside of you, is not of his creation. You see what I'm saying? That part of you, that immortal light, that immortal consciousness inside of you, that reminds you that you are not of this world and you need to get back to it, so it can show you how to get back to the creator. You see what I'm saying? So this is what's going on. So once he realized that there was more to creators than him, then he created his squad, his team, which was known as the Archons. You see what I'm saying? So now he created 12 originally. We thought it was just 7, but if you count the Zodiac, then it's 12. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna go over these 12. Of course, the him being the first, then he created 11 more with him, and he would be the 12th. You see what I'm saying? You have Yaldabaoth, the child of chaos. You see what I'm saying? And in the Hebrew teaching, and it's toxic chaos, by the way. And he's represented by Saturn. He presides over the zodiacal sphere of Aries. You see what I'm saying? What's up, Star? He governs over the zodiacal sphere of Aries and, of course, the crown chakra, because Saturn is the crown chakra. You see what I'm saying? Because why is this? Why is your chakras have something to do with the planets? Your chakras are your chakras is how he fashioned the universe. You see the planets. You see what I'm saying? That's where he got the ideas of the planets from. And in order to feed off of us, he created these planets that vibrate on the same frequency as your chakras. You see what I'm saying? Because your chakras are your own internal planes of existence, spheres of consciousness. So your chakras became your prison. You see what I'm saying? Your rainbow prison, your light prison. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we tell you come out your chakra system, because your chakra system is also in prison. Your Kundalini energy is in prison. And that's why we tell you to have that Kundalini awakening and rise up out of your chakra system back into your Godhead. Your Godhead, because your Godhead inside of you is the literal manifestation of the source energy. The God's head, the source is intelligence. A head is nothing but representation of intelligence. So it's God's intelligence, or the Creator's intelligence. You see what I'm saying? The source of all. So when you return back to your Godhead, then you liberate your chakra system, and it emits a new form of frequency of liberation. And these archons, because you're vibrating so high now, thanks to the liberation of your chakra system, can no longer feed off you. You see what I'm saying? So what do archons represent? They represent the forces of forces of vampirism. They represent the forces of anti-awakening. And they represent extra low frequencies, ELF frequencies. You see what I'm saying? This is what it's about. So you got Yaldabaoth, the child of chaos, toxic chaos. While your chakra system is still locked down, he's over Saturn, which is Aries. You know, also Aries, the zodiac sign, which is your crown chakras. And his most important principle, his main objective, is to keep you ignorant of the Creator. You see what I'm saying? So he governs the energy of ignorance and is known as the celestial ego to his other counterparts. You see what I'm saying? Next, you got Io. Now, who is Io? Io is Yahweh. You see what I'm saying? Or Jupiter. And it's also the throat chakra. You see what I'm saying? These are a little out of order. You see what I'm saying? So bear with me here. I just wrote them down as I seen them. So it represents the throat chakra, and he deals in vampirism. You see what I'm saying? And his constellation, his zodiac, that its frequency, natural frequencies with is Taurus. You see what I'm saying? Then next you got Sabaoth, which is Mars, and his name is Jehovah. These names are not for no reason. These names are literally the archetypal names for these guys. You see what I'm saying? And when you call on these guys, especially when you put your energy out there into the universe, they actually hear you. And when they hear you, they actually will. If it's in their best interest, they'll answer your prayers. And if it's not in their best interest, they won't answer your prayers. You see what I'm saying? So, but a lot of times they do answer your prayers because they need you to believe in them. The more you believe in them, the more that you open yourself up to their vampiric energies, and the more they can feed off you. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So that's Jehovah. It governs the root chakra, which is the principle of fear. And of course, its zodiac is Gemini. You see what I'm saying? Keeping you unbalanced as much as possible. You see what I'm saying? So next, you get Ostephanes, or Ostaphe. And now, this is Venus, the Sacral Chakra. And it governs Cancer as well. It's the zodiac. And the principle that it presides over is envy. You see what I'm saying? These 7 deadly sins mean something. This shit mind blowing. Then you got Elios. Oh, I missed one. You got Adonios, or Adonis. And it's the sun. Now, what the sun represents in the cosmos? The sun represents the entrapment of your soul, or your soul locked down in his body, trapped in his body. Now, it represents Leo. And you see what I'm saying? And it governs over the energy of irritation. And how you produce irritation? Through illusions and resistance. You see what I'm saying? So next, you get Elios, which is Mercury, the solar plexus. And its zodiac is Virgo. And guess what? It's the Elohim. You see what I'm saying? Or El, or God. And it presides over the principle of pride. You see what I'm saying? So next you get Horaios, the moon. Now, moon is toxic melanin. Your melanin energy is locked down, suppressed. You see what I'm saying? When your melanin energy is locked down, suppressed, it's subject to the frequencies of this third dimensional matrix. That's why before you awoken, the sun actually burned you, because you were subject to the archonic frequencies of the sun. That's why it burns you. And that's why after you awoken, the sun never don't burn you no more. It vibrates off you because you are vibrating so high now that the archonic forces of the sun in the universe, out there in the universe, can't harm you now. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Because you transcended those ELF frequencies that the sun was kicking out. Why was the sun burning you? Because the sun matches the exact frequency of your soul. And your soul is what? Celestial fire. Your celestial sun. You see what I'm saying? So now y'all see how this working. Y'all see how this working. Now, you got Horarios, Moon, Toxic Melanin, and it governs over Libra. Now, his name is Joror, or Noah. You see what I'm saying? And it goes over the principle of greed. You see what I'm saying? Then you got El Shaddai. Now I know y'all know that name. That's a famous name. Shit, hell, in the Hebrew fucking lineage. El Shaddai. And it presides over Earth, or the heart chakra. You see what I'm saying? And goddamn, its zodiac is Scorpio. You see what I'm saying? And of course they call El Shaddai what? God Almighty. And but his ancient name is El Zodios. And it presides over the principle of instigation. You know, starting some shit for the most part, to get you pissed off so it can feed off you. You see what I'm saying? So set up that restaurant, set up that energetic restaurant on this planet, because they can turn this dimension into a planetary restaurant. And we're going to get to that. Next, you got Pericles, you know, and it's represent, in the universe, it's known as Titan, which is the moon of one of Saturn's moons. Now, Dr. York gave us this information in his New Wabic teachings. He said that Titan, the moon on Saturn, a bunch of disagreeable beings were there fucking some shit up. And they hacked into Earth with their advanced technology and start feeding off our negative emotions. You see what I'm saying? Which is, there's truth to that. You see what I'm saying? The Titan moon around Saturn represents your Titan energy locked down, because in Greek mythology they locked down the Titans, remember, which is us. They are the guys and goddesses of the planet, black man, black woman, and by extension, since they locked us down, they eventually locked down the rest of the people on the planet, the rest of the guys and other beings who have taken on this human form, dragons, fucking fairies, nagas. Hell, you name it. Shit, you name it. Mythical creature, you name it. Fucking chimera, hell, whatever you want to call them. You know, they've taken on this human form, and now they're locked down with this shit because us, the elder guys, got locked down first. You see what I'm saying? So now y'all see how this working. Now, it represents the principle of temptation. You see what I'm saying? You know, tempting you to use your free will against yourself. How about that? Ain't that fucked up? Tempting you to use your free will against yourself. You see what I'm saying? Next, you got Aryuth, also known as Archaeo, which is known as the feminine aspects of the Aeons. You see what I'm saying? So, of course, since it's the feminine aspects of the Aeons, then we are dealing with Neptune. You see what I'm saying? Neptune represents your Kundalini energy when it's locked down. You see what I'm saying? And of course, since it's your Kundalini energy is feminine energy. So it's the feminine energy that's locked down. Divine feminine, because divine just means to dive inside yourself. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? And connect with your internal feminine energies. And of course, your internal masculine energies. You see what I'm saying? So that's what that means. Then you got Typhon. Typhon is Pluto. And it governs the underworld. And the underworld is nothing but the physical realm and the physical body. So you're talking about this physical material dimension, this Amentian dimension. That's what he presides over. And he's the soul stealer. You know that astral light that they always tell you go in church to keep you locked down here. You go into the astral light, you come right back down this motherfucker and reincarnate. You see what I'm saying? That's what Typhon presides over, this particular archon. And it governs over Aquarius. You see what I'm saying? Now, our youth, I may have missed this, our youth is Capricorn and Pericles is Sagittarius. Just in case I didn't say those. So Typhon is Aquarius. Next, you got Ioctanabis or Joctanabis, depending on you see it spelling. And it governs Uranus and the third eye chakra. And its zodiac is Pisces. Now, it governs the outer universe. They call it the outer darkness, but it's nothing but the outer universe. You see what I'm saying? The physical space. You see what I'm saying? The physical universe outside of us. You see what I'm saying? That's what Ioctanabis represents. And why the third eye? Because your third eye is what perceives the outer universe. You see what I'm saying? Because inside of everybody, your third ventricle, your all-seeing eye is literally projecting. It's literally a projector that allows you to see into this dimension through this physical body. And it's recording what's going on in this dimension through your observable eyes. You see what I'm saying? Which is your physical eyes. So that's what's going on. And it governs that. So it feeds off you having visions. You see what I'm saying? You experiencing that supernatural sight. It feeds off it. And a good example is the mother in Dark Crystal. You remember she was out there using her third eye to go into the physical universe instead of going inside herself. You see what I'm saying? And what happened? The world went to shit. Because while she out there perceiving the physical universe, which is just endless energy, material energy, when she came back, the world was fucked up. You see what I'm saying? So in the TV show Dark Crystal, if you ain't seen it, go check it out. So they showing you what it is. You see what I'm saying? That's Ioctanabis. You see what I'm saying? Tricking her into you projecting her third eye out into the universe instead of using her third eye to go within herself. Because that universe out there is just a replica, a reflection, a model of your own internal universe. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people ask, Marvin, why is the universe circular? Because it's a replica of your chakra system. That's why it looks. That's why the model is circular. You see what I'm saying? So that's what they dealing with here. That's what you're dealing with. Next, let's see here. All that, those are the 12 archons, and their universe operating together became known as the firmament, the heavens. You see what I'm saying? In the Bible. Because the Bible is nothing but Yaldabaoth's book. They tell you the God of the Hebrews is Demiurge all the time. The Gnostics knew this. Everybody knew that shit. That's why the Hebrews so fucked up. Because they feeding off that arcanic energy all the time. And the world is literally being manipulated by the Jesuit priests, who are the main priesthood. They even control the Pope in Rome. That's the white Pope. The black Pope, the Jesuit priests, I forget. I know it's Adolfo something. But yeah, the Jesuit priests, the black popes, control the white popes, which are the white priests. You see what I'm saying? And give them commands. You see, the black pope sends these orders to him. He signs off on it to make it look good, but he tells them to sign off on it. And they sign off on all the wars, all of the shit that's going on the planet, and so they can keep the world arcanic, and so it can continue to be a planetary restaurant for these arcanic beings. You see what I'm saying? So now, as you well know, each of these archons have legions. You see what I'm saying? They have legions behind them. See what I'm saying? These 12 major arcanic generals. You see what I'm saying? It's 11 generals with Yaldabaoth being the chief general. You see what I'm saying? So that makes 12. You see what I'm saying? And they said, what about Ophiuchus, Mom? Ophiuchus was the hidden zodiac. Why did they hide it? Well, they hid it because it represents the serpent. And that would have gave you a clue that your Kundalini energy and everything is locked down. That's what Ophiuchus is for. You see what I'm saying? That was a clue our ancestors kept, like, nah, don't pay attention to the other 12, pay attention to the 13th sphere. Your wisdom. That's what got you locked down here. That wisdom without the approval and guidance of the Creator is what got you locked down here. And that's what Ophiuchus represents. Wisdom without the approval and guidance of the source of all. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the 13th zodiac represents. Now, let's see here. Now, we get into the Tower of Babel story. after they witnessed, y'all witnessed this event with these divine sparks, they actually sat back for a while and observed them and watched them for many years. What's up, Isis? What's up, Marjorie? So they would actually sit back and watch them for many years and observe what they could do. And they were mind blown at these beings' ability to create. Like they told you in the Tower of Babel story. Like, if we don't stop these motherfuckers from creating, then they gonna outdo us in our own fucking dimension. You see what I'm saying? Because Tower of Babel is nothing but your spine. Or spine, since it was a lot of motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? Everybody got their own spine. So, you see what I'm saying? So what happens next? Let us go down, they said, and destroy the spine, the Tower of Babel. And Babel is nothing but the pineal, and the N1 point that empowers the pineal gland. Let us destroy these spines and confuse the languages and separate the people, all over the planet, the plane. Who are these people that they separate? Your own internal forces, your own demonic forces. You see what I'm saying? Your melanin forces and your angelic forces. You see what I'm saying? Because you need both your angelic and your demonic forces to get shit done. You see what I'm saying? Your solar and your lunar. Your chaos and your light. You see what I'm saying? You need both. The 144,000 requires you to tap into both the 72 demons and the 72 angels. Or, since we the original beings, the 720,000 demons and the 720,000 angels, angelic forces inside of you. You see what I'm saying? Each one of them has legions. You see what I'm saying? Or 720 trillion, as I always go to certain lengths to say. You see what I'm saying? And what? 144 trillion. But we just gonna simply say 144,000 for simplistic purposes. See what I'm saying? When you vibrating on your 144,000, that's just a numerical representation of you, the guy who went inside yourself and fucking got all your internal forces in formation. And now y'all operating as one. One force, one spirit, one soul, one presence, one divine intelligence. You see what I'm saying? Oh, my bad, one divine and dark intelligence. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. So they couldn't have this, y'all. They couldn't have this. So these beings came down and started fucking you up, invading your mind space and start fucking you up with their arcanic frequencies, and this destroyed your spines because they could not have you vibrating at this God consciousness level no longer. Because when they just allowed you to do it, they seen how powerful you became. So that's when they hatched their plan to destroy your spine. How did they do this? By bombarding your mind with all these arcanic frequencies: fear, ignorance, temptation, the ones I just called out, what they represent. But see, how they got you was when they first seen this happen to you, they backed off. So you never experienced these frequencies before. So when they hit you and bombarded them with you, you had no resistance to them. You see what I'm saying? You had no resistance to them because how you going to resist something you've never experienced? You see what I'm saying? So when they bombard you with these 13 major frequencies, then that's what fucked you up. You see what I'm saying? That's what shut you down. And that's the part of the story they leave out. Let us create boundaries, they said. Let us create, let us set up some limitations, as they tell you. What God sets up limitations, unless it's a jealous God or a demiurge, you see what I'm saying? Or half God, you see what I'm saying? Jealous being. So what happens here? Now we have to continue to suppress them. So what are we going to do to continue to suppress them? We need a program that we can install inside of them to suppress this ancient god mind, this limbic system, this spinal system. You see what I'm saying? We need something to suppress this pineal gland, this fucking pituitary, this hypothalamus, and all the other glands and systems that make up your ancient mind, your cerebellum, they call it the medulla oblongata. They call it your reptilian mind, right? But it's actually your warrior mind. But they had to demonize it because they're trying to shut down your warrior mind. Because your warrior mind is what causes you to, what gives you the courage to fight this program. So they had to shut that down. You see what I'm saying? So they call it the reptilian mind. You see what I'm saying? And your medulla oblongata is the top of your spine. How about that? Your whole limbic system had to be demonized. So they called it primitive. Even though we know primitive is code word for ancient. So what happens next? So they install inside you a program to go against your natural self. And they called it the Neocortex. Oh yeah. They thought this through. Installed inside of you 12,000 years ago. Finally solidified inside of you 6,000 years ago. And I noticed for the last 12,000 years, we've been on a decline. According to history, we've been on a decline. 6,000 years ago, we was really on a decline. It seems like that shit just sped up. You see what I'm saying? The next 6,000 years. And here we are. Funny. We went through all that for 6,000 years, and this neocortex continued to evolve. What if I told you that in these movies, Ultron, Skynet, and Terminator, the machine world and the Matrix, is all the neocortex evolving? That's what's going on here. The neocortex is evolving in these, they showing you the evolution of the neocortex as it got stronger and stronger. And the stronger it got, the weaker your limbic system got, and you begin to lose genetic and source memory. Because you was cut off from the creator from that point on. See what I'm saying? Now y'all see how this works. And they give you two hemispheres. They give you the right hemisphere and they give you the left hemisphere. Now your right hemisphere is your super ego. You see what I'm saying? Your super ego. You see what I'm saying? That's your holistic mind, which connects you to this material world as a whole. You don't see no differentiation, but you know you live in this physical dimension. Just that simple knowing is the super ego. The fact that you know that you down here is the MK Ultra here. You see what I'm saying? That's what the right hemisphere feeds off of. The left hemisphere is your differential mind. It is what differentiates. It takes the holistic mind and tell you that it's a table. That's a wall. See what I'm saying? That's light. That's a window behind me. You see what I'm saying? You see that's a candle. You see what I'm saying? This my arm. This my hand. This my arm. You see what I'm saying? Start differentiating. So now, since you understand where you at, now you got to understand what the things are in this reality, which made the neocortex stronger. Then finally, they gave you a third program, which is your id, your primal desires. You see what I'm saying? Your desire to do this, your desire to do that, your desire to go and do this, and that. As long, that's the catch, as long as you obey the laws of this physical dimension. We'll give you anything you fucking want. Anything. Anything you want, as long as you obey the laws of our matrix. Like they showed you in the Matrix. When Cypher tried to get back, we'll give you anything, as long as you obey our rules. You see what I'm saying? That was a deal that he made with the agents, right? So, now we know we got their program, their computer inside of us, and it deals strictly with what? Intellectualism. They glorify the neocortex, the scientists of the day, because they work for the Archons. And the Archons said glorify neocortex. our program inside of you. Now, you don't even need the neocortex to evolve. That's the crazy part. You know, you read, you study, you grow your mind or whatever, but you don't even need it. All you needed was your heart wisdom. You see what I'm saying? Your inner knowing. And this inner knowing sent messages up to this inner knowing. You see what I'm saying? Your pineal, your consciousness, your soul lives inside of your heart. You see what I'm saying? But this up here, your pineal, is your soul processing information. How about that? So this is your soul processor. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Up here. Your limbic system is your soul processor for the heart. And then down here, your gut, that's your instinctual mind. Now that's your soul's instincts. Its ability to survive. Its ability to will itself through the bullshit. You see what I'm saying? It's passion. You see what I'm saying? It's love for whatever it came here to do. It's all based off your soul. See, where they fucked us up at, they got us focusing on nothing but the body. We know the body is nothing but the apparatus. What is an apparatus? An apparatus is a biotechnology that receives messages. It receives messages and it gives out energy. Energy that so happens that these archons got the right frequency, the radio channel for, and they feed off that. You see what I'm saying? It just so happen to have the right frequency, the right hertz to tap in and connect. Well, no different than when you change the radio station to your favorite song and you listen to that song and receive the energy from that song. That's what it is. Your body is not only a receiver, it's a projector of energy. You see what I'm saying? So the energy that's projecting out of you is what they're feeding off of, because they know the exact frequency of your body. You see what I'm saying? And as we well know, like anything, the root chakra, which is what most people is vibrating on, is like 296 hertz. So that's when you ain't awoken, when you ain't awoken, you vibrating at 296 hertz. 296 hertz, which is dinner for them. Lunch, breakfast, and dessert. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you know you in this restaurant. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? See, so this is what happened. This is what happened. And not only that, you got celestial archons or supernatural archons, but of course they got to have soldiers on the ground, on the physical plane, who are trying out for archon schools so they can graduate when they die and become an archon in the heavens, in the supernatural. You see what I'm saying? So, and if y'all don't believe me, go and watch the movie Doctor Sleep, Stephen King's sequel to The Shining. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Stephen King's sequel to The Shining, Doctor Sleep. They told you. My boy Dick told you. He said the world is a dark place, and the darkest and deadliest beings feed off your shine, your force, your melanin. They feed off of it. They're not repelled by it. Only the weak beings, the weak dark beings are repelled by your shine. The most powerful ones eat it. And they showed you that they're supernatural archons and they're physical archons. Now the physical archons are lesser archons. They're archons in training. You see what I'm saying? But you still gotta watch out for them because they're dangerous. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be vibrating high. You gotta be on guard both in the physical and the spiritual. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. That sun out there still beams on you. But when you're vibrating high, the energy is different. It doesn't affect you as much. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you feeding off it because your vibration's so high. And when it comes and touch your energy field alters the frequencies. So now, instead of extra low frequencies, you get EHF waves, which is extra high frequencies. You see what I'm saying? And that's why the cosmos makes you stronger, because it bends to your internal frequencies and vibrations. Like they said, the law of correspondence. As within, as above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. So the stronger your soul gets down here, and the more it connects with this universe, takes it over, conquer it, and when you absorb those energies of the sun, of the moon, of the earth, of Mars and Pluto and Venus and all this other shit that we know about. It works for you instead of against you. You see what I'm saying? This is what happening here. This is the secrets of the soul that they don't want you to know. Your soul is the true and living commander. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? The true and living sage that controls all this shit. Once you get back to your soul, like they show you in this book, once you get out of that shit and back to your soul, and your soul get free of their arcanic frequencies, which is here, then you become a bad motherfucker. You become a danger. You become a threat to the system, like Neo did, like Trinity did, like Morpheus, the god of dreams. You see what I'm saying? Hell. Well, what if I told y'all that Neo wasn't the one? Morpheus was the one, because he dreamed that reality of events that led to the freedom of Zion. But they'll never tell you that one. No, now will they? Because Morpheus trained Neo and Trinity. You know, and they were just aspects of himself. You see what I'm saying? Morpheus, the god of dreams, the god of dreaming. You see what I'm saying? Manipulating this shit from the dream realm, which is the spiritual realm, the soul realm, inside of you. You see what I'm saying? And from the soul realm came Trinity. Trinity represents what? The father, masculine energies, the feminine, the mother, the feminine energies, and then you had the childlike energies. You see what I'm saying? The magical energies, the will. You see what I'm saying? So, which was Neo. You see what I'm saying? Neo represented the childlike energies, and he went forth with the knowledge of his teacher, and he went and at least balanced it. He balanced the three realms. You see what I'm saying? Which was Zion, the machine world, and exile. You see what I'm saying? So he at least got that far in the movies. We'll see what this next Matrix 4 is supposed to be about, but he at least got that far. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? But now, the Neocortex is why it's so hard for people to awaken. Because the Neocortex is the arcanic spell. Dr. York called it the spell of Leviathan. I don't really like the word Leviathan, because Leviathan kind of is an ancient name for the earth. The spell of Yaldabaoth. Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds clearer and more precise. The spell of the demiurge. You see what I'm saying? And that's on the masses. That's why the masses seem. That's why when you awaken, the masses seem crazy to you, because they vibrating off arcanic energies, and the shit that they're doing. Like, why the fuck is you even doing that? You see what I'm saying? And when you was still lost in the system for a time period, you look back at yourself, you be like, the fuck was I doing? You see what I'm saying? The fuck is happening here? So this is what's happening. You vibrating, you broke that arcanic spell, freed yourself and your soul, and now you going to war with the system just by being awoken. Your consciousness is what's fighting the system by itself. Because what they don't tell you is, when you awaken, your energy, once your force awakens and gets strong enough, it erupts out of you into the atmosphere of the planet and begins to shake it up. And then you get such things as Mandela effects. You see what I'm saying? Shit just glitching and altering and breaking down. Because when you wake up from the dream, then everything around you begins to collapse, like they showed you in Inception. So this is what's happening. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So your limbic system begins to take over your neocortex. It begins to alter it. Because the reason why it's so hard to awaken is because when you begin to awaken, your neocortex sends out a signal to the arcanic forces that's living inside of it. And these forces of anti-awakening literally go to war with your limbic system to suppress it. That's why when you first awakening, all hell is breaking loose. You automatically thrown into a war between your neocortex and your limbic system. All hell is breaking loose. You see what I'm saying? Boom, 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 boom. It feel like fucking gunshots. It feel like you in Iraq around this motherfucker. Instead of fucking shotguns and shit, you're getting fucking photon rays and lightsabers and the force and all this other crazy shit happening inside your mind. You see what I'm saying? Shit, I remember many times when I was still awakening. Hey, I was at war. Lightsabers, force, fighting these fucking archonic beings, fucking their ass up. You see what I'm saying? This is what you're dealing with when you first awaken. Now, once you free yourself, the war dies down because the Archons realize they are on the losing side and they flee. They exit stage. What the Pink Panther said, exit stage left. Stage right. You see what I'm saying? They're getting the fuck out of here. Because we've lost this battle in this realm. You see what I'm saying? Which is your personal dimension. And so you usurp the Neocortex, have it working for you. And once you have the Neocortex working for you, you now have the power to manipulate and alter the physical universe, the physical realm. You see that material world. You see what I'm saying? And now, so that's why when you fully awaken and do stuff like that and go through this process, that's when they start to attack the people, the Archons, where we can't fuck with him around him. That's when your family turn against you. That's when your neighborhood turn against you for a while. Everybody seem like they losing their damn mind and attacking you all of a sudden because we done lost the war in here. Oh, but your peeps and peepettes around you, them motherfuckers still lives. They still Agent Smiths. So we gonna force them to attack you to make your life a living hell on a physical plane. You see what I'm saying? So most of us end up getting away from our family. And if you ain't getting away from your family, you got safe spots. You know, physical meditation chambers like the lake that you always find yourself at when shit go wrong. You see what I'm saying? That mountain that you love to climb when shit go wrong. You see what I'm saying? Even you may have some friends in the neighborhood who are also awoken. You go see them. That's also a safe haven for you. You see what I'm saying? Now you see how this works. Because they still your family members who still in this shit are still agents of the system, of this matrix. So they can hack them at any given. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. My mama was literally walking in the door and I seen a beam of energy go down and it hacked her. And then she turned around and started fucking with me. With my own two fucking eyes, y'all. With my own two fucking eyes. I was like, oh, did she just get fucking hacked? And it's just an invisible beam of energy. It's a transparent beam of energy that hacks into their crown chakra and starts to fuck with them. Which is why we know, this is why we know that y'all the boy govern Saturn. Because Saturn is your crown chakra. Why your chakra system is still enslaved in this matrix. Now, the more you feed your soul, the weaker your neocortex becomes. Now, the only way up out of this is through internal ascension. It's the only true way of defeating the archonic forces inside of you. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And like I said, the archonic forces outside of you are lesser archons. Like they showed you in Dr. Sleep. You had the true knights. You see what I'm saying? They were the archonic forces outside of you. But the only thing they showed you in the movie that was deadlier than the true knights was the motherfuckers supernatural archons at the Overlook Hotel, which was the Neocortex. Right. And the Overlook Hotel represented the Neocortex. And the maze represented the neurons, the neuronic pathways of the Neocortex. This shit deep. This shit deep, y'all. Let's continue here. Let's continue. Let's see. But there's a grand awakening happening on the planet. We gave them a certain time limit, 6,000 years, these archons, to rule. We gave them a 6,000 year cycle, you know, which is nothing but 3 zodiacs, 3 zodiacal cycles. Pisces being their best one so far, with this, they got a lot of motherfuckers down with this religion. You see what I'm saying? Religare, to imprison you. You see what I'm saying? Latin. Now, that's how they got you. This grand awakening happened. The rise of the divine, the resurrection of the dead, the sleeping gods, the resurrection of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The divine feminine, dive inside yourself. That's all divine means. And the divine masculine, dive inside yourself. That's all it means. The divine feminine and masculine awakening is happening inside of you. You see what I'm saying? It's happening inside of you. And you have the dark feminine and dark masculine, which is your melanin. You see what I'm saying? Your melanin awakening. Because your light consciousness, your soul consciousness gives way to your melanin consciousness. You see what I'm saying? And it's an infinity loop. They feed off each other. And the more they feed off each other, the stronger you get. You see what I'm saying? The stronger your spiritual stamina becomes, and by extension, your spiritual powers. So now, you must have this Kundalini awakening. This goddess known as Kundalini, which is nothing but the suppressed spiritual force of your spine, soul force of your spine, must be risen back up to meet the god Shiva in your first eye, and they travel together to your crown, outward into your godhead. You see what I'm saying? And that's how you come out of this archonic matrix. And that's how it seems like everybody's getting fucked with, but sages and magi and fucking Jedi and psychics and oracles and shit. And the reason why is because they free. They free in here. So since they free in here, they automatically free out there. No matter what trials and tribulations they go through. This is a literal ability in Star Wars called Altus Support, which is a meditative exercise. When you start to meditate on your force, Altus Support just means high tempo. So we're talking about up here, your pioneer. When you start to get up here and meditate on that force inside of you, then once it awakens and you'll ascend up out of here and come back into your Godhead, your true self, you see what I'm saying? Your true self inside of you, then that's when you become free. You see what I'm saying? That's what the concept of freedom is. Freedom. You see what I'm saying? You have freed your mind. This dome that you see the saints have around them. It's an enlightened dome around them, a halo, as we call it. Freedom is nothing but the halo around the saints that you see. Freedom. Free your dome. Free your mind. Like Morpheus told you, the god of dreams, interestingly enough. Free your motherfucking mind, Neo. Why did he tell this to Neocortex? Because your ass is working for the fucking Archons and you don't know it. But if you listen to me, the Godhead, then I'm gonna fucking teach you how to turn against your own forces. That's what the story was about. And I'm gonna have Trinity here be your lover so she could give you the celestial trinity so you can free yourself from your own archonic forces. That's why his name was Neo, the Neocortex. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Free yourself, free your mind, Neo, but you gotta walk through that door. You gotta give up this life, this archonic life you living with these motherfuckers, and allow me, Morpheus, the limbic system, to fucking be in control. You see what I'm saying? And allow Trinity, which is the manifestations of your ancient mind. You see what I'm saying? The divine masculine, the divine feminine, and the celestial child. You see what I'm saying? Your inner child. To be in control of your decisions, and I guarantee you, we're going to come out on top, which they did. You see what I'm saying? Which they did. So this is what this is about. This is what this is about. So now, how do we know that our shit is, this grand awakening is affecting their matrix? Word on the street is Saturn, who's supposed to be controlled by fucking Yaldabaoth, is losing his rings. The rings represent your enslavement, the shackles that's on you, the mental shackles that's on your mind, your freedom, your will to be free is causing these chains to disintegrate around Saturn. That's part one. Part two. Word on the street is, according to these scientists, this is all coming from these scientists when I say word on the street. They're saying that all the dark matter in the universe is starting to disappear. Where is it going? Back inside of you. Because your melanin is regenerating. And of course, if the darkness is going inside of you, returning back into you, of course the light, the stardust, the star force, the stars and shit out there is coming back into you as well, the solar energy. By default. Because the darkness is going to always bring the light with it. You see what I'm saying? That's why in all these movies, when motherfuckers going through the dark tunnel, they find their light at the end of the tunnel. You see what I'm saying? That's consciousness. See what I'm saying? So it's bringing all the stardust and starlight and star force back inside of you. So you becoming more godlike. You see what I'm saying? More conscious. And when I say conscious, I mean super conscious. Because you get back to your mastermind. Like Glass. Like Glass in the movie Glass. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? You're getting back to your super conscious. I am truly a mastermind. And what color he wear? Purple. Consciousness. You see what I'm saying? I'm out this rainbow matrix now. You see what I'm saying? I'm free now. And I'm going to show y'all I'm a fucking mastermind. You see what I'm saying? Because your mastermind is your God mind. Your metaphysical mind. And you see, you even got minds higher than that. You got your super God mind that you're going to tap into. That's when you become the Jedi with the Force. Knocking shit over. You see what I'm saying? Fucking shit up. You see what I'm saying? With just your force itself. On the physical. Because you learn to harness your internal force. And now it's oozing out of you in force ways. That's why when you become super conscious, fucking bottles and shit moving around you and you ain't even doing shit. That's your raw telekinetic force awakening inside of you. You see what I'm saying? That's what's happening. Now, another way we know, a good movie to show the return of these melanin forces is what? Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Powerful movie. Matter of fact, I'll put it here so y'all can see it. Since we're talking about this, this will be the last portion here. Oops. Where's that? Okay, there we go. At World's End. Why do they call it at World's End? These motherfuckers, first of all, what is a pirate? The root word of pirate is pi. 3.14 is a transcendental number. Then we can stretch the word a little bit more to pyro, or pyro, which means fire or soul. You see what I'm saying? Now, the pirates, from their point of view, the establishment was trying to take away their freedom. Who are the pirates? The pirates are your melanated demonic forces. Your 720 demonic forces that's going to war with the false angelic realm. See, now they try to present themselves, now the establishment in the movie try to present themselves as the angelic forces, but they were actually the Archons. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times, the Archons will present themselves as either your demonic forces or your angelic forces. Because they can shapeshift. You see what I'm saying? They just shapeshifting into different roles to make you think that, to show you that they're the enemy. So in this case, the pirates were your melanin forces, your demonic forces. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And the establishment, the British company, the British boat company was the Archonic and the Archonic Angels. You see what I'm saying? Because Archons can look like angels. Archons look like angels as well. So what happened? They started off the movie hanging the pirates, the chosen ones, the melanin forces. Them hanging them, is them shutting down the forces. You see what I'm saying? The chaos forces, the melanin forces, them shutting down the melanin for the most part. Now there was a kid. My boy had a coin. The coin had on one side the shield, which is self-defense, and on the other side it was an X, which is the perfected man, perfected woman, perfected God and goddess. You see what I'm saying? The song was called Hoist the Colors, which means it was wartime again. The time has come for the war between the ancient forces and archonic forces. That's what they were talking about when they said Hoist the Colors. And they showed you this in the movies. Now, the Brethren's Court, which is pretty much the main pirate lords. There were 9 pirate lords, and then there was a 10th. There was a 10th code keeper, law keeper, right? So the pirates had to get together, but what was the problem? One of them was locked down in David Jones' locker, which was their unconscious mind. That's what David Jones' locker represents. So what they had to do, they had to travel to David Jones' locker. And how did they do this? Old school, raw, on the boat, traveling to the underworld, to the afterworld, afterlife, to, deal with that. You see what I'm saying? So they had to travel to the afterlife. You see what I'm saying? The realm of the dead, the ancestral realm, to save Jack Sparrow. You see what I'm saying? So when they get there, and the goddess Tiadama, aka Calypso, hell, she played the shit out of her role, and we're gonna talk about her in a second. They go and save Jack first. That was the primary objective because he had one of the pieces of 9 to set Calypso free, the goddess free. So what happens here? How did this all come about? Originally, the first brother in court imprisoned Calypso with the help of the Flying Dutchman, who was the rogue death god. You see what I'm saying? He originally started, he was supposed to fashion the souls to, he was helping them transition from this side to the next, but after Calypso didn't show up, then he rebelled. And when he rebelled, he turned all monstrous and shit, which represents the rebellious God. You see what I'm saying? The rebellious God energy. So what happens next, y'all? So they go on this adventure. Once they save Jack Sparrow, they now go on this adventure to convene the Brethren's Court. When they convene the Brethren's Court, it's getting real. Because you see, pirates was different, or they seemed different, but really they were just Sith Lords. Always arguing, fighting, betraying each other. But when it counted the most, they got their shit together and went to war with these motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? And what's the first thing they did before they went to war? With the Dutch Indian Company. I think that's what they was called. The Dutch Indian Company. Or the Dutch Company, Well, what's the first thing they did? They freed the goddess within them. They resurrected Calypso, who was Tiadama in the movie, the black woman, and her power. That's why so many occultists talk about this movie. And it's a great movie for this particular lecture. Goddamn, they freed the goddess first. And then one of the pirates told them it was the Flying Dutchman who fucking enslaved you, taught the Brethren Court to enslave you. You see what I'm saying? Because the 7 seas is nothing but your 7 chakras. There were 9 power lords, which and plus the code keeper, which is 10. So we talking about the Calypso. Well, this is all happening in the Calypso. They rode the sea, which was the seas of their subconscious mind and unconscious mind. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm just putting it in perspective for you. Barbossa carried the Jedi, the spine. He always walked around with a staff in this movie. The Jed pillar. Because Tiadama ordained him. She brought him back to life because he had died in the second movie. She ordained him to be her Jedi Knight that would bring her back. And he fulfilled his role in this movie. He kept his word. So in return for that, she helped him out. And, they went to war with these motherfuckers. First thing first, they had to usurp the rebellious death god in the Flying Dutchman. They had to take him out and replace him with a new death god. You see what I'm saying? In Will. You see what I'm saying? So they made Elizabeth Swan pirate king. And so the other guy in the other boat, since she was pirate king, then he became the other pirate lord for that group. So they made 11 of them. You see what I'm saying? 11. The number of the Master Magi. She was the Master Magi at this point. So since she was the Master Magi, the Oshun archetype in this movie, you see what I'm saying? The Segmentation archetype, Oshun segment in this motherfucker. They went to war with the Dutch India Company. First, they had to go to war with the Flying Dutchman, and they beat that motherfucker. But, like I always tell y'all, matters of the force got to be resolved before we can deal with the physical. After they whooped the Dutchman's ass and replaced him with Will, then fucking the Black Pearl was headed for the Dutch India Company. This how this shit worked. When the Flying Dutchman rose about the sea, that was the return of the death god, the god of the underworld. They were whole again. That was the 12th god. You see what I'm saying? The 12th demonic force. Because you already had 11 with the Pirate King. So now we got everybody here. And once all the forces were together working in harmony with each other, they fucked their asses up. Told these archonic motherfuckers up. Destroyed them. And they fucking, after that, because it was a war over your mind. You see what I'm saying? The Neocortex, the forces of anti-awakening, came to shut down the ancient forces. And ancient forces wouldn't have it. That's why they were spiritual. That's why everything they did was just pure chaos. Because they was melanated ancient forces. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So what happens next, y'all? What happens next? As they destroy them, everybody celebrates. They free now. You see what I'm saying? And the Dutchman goes back to do his job, and you know, everything, the force is balanced again. They brought balance to the force. Because they only destroyed one of the boats, but he was Yaldabaoth. He represented Yaldabaoth in this movie. Once Yaldabaoth got taken out, then the rest of them forces flee. They got the fuck up out of there. They ain't about to stay here. And so that shows you the power of your melanin and your ancient forces inside of you, your ancient mind. Because there was the limbic system versus Neocortex. That's what the power is representing. The ancient forces of your mind. You see what I'm saying? They were Sith Lords. It's funny. It's rare you see the Sith Lords be the ones victorious. I only seen it in 2 other movies. That's James Cameron's Avatar, and that's Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I only seen it 3 times. I think over the past 20 years. So this is the other one. This is the 3rd movie. Pirates of the Caribbean. Like they showed you the resurrection of the goddess Calypso, Sophia Calypso. You see what I'm saying? They went to work. You see what I'm saying? Calypso. Now Calypso in Greek mythology, if you know anything about her, she bestowed upon regular mortals the gift of immortality. You see what I'm saying? So they ain't playing with this science here. And they made her goddess of the ocean and seas. They made her a storm goddess for the most part. You see what I'm saying? In this movie. So she took on extra characteristics besides immortality. Because she was bringing motherfuckers back to life and everything. So that's reanimation, resurrection, necromancy, all that shit. She was doing it all. She was fucking prophesying. She was getting it in. She was using her Jedi powers to get it in. To get free. She turned into a giant and everybody sat the fuck down and shut the fuck up and started worshiping. And then she transmuted herself into crabs, and went back into the ocean. That was a manifestation of her powers going back into the mind to reawakening. The inner deity going back into the mind to reawakening. And she took out the Flying Dutchman, and then she took out we took out the Dutch Indian Company. Then the seas is ours again. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. And you know the Black Pearl and the Black Dot, the Pioneer, the ships that's represented Joe Macabre, the usual sciences. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. Oh, this is probably one of the most powerful movies to come out in the last 20 years. I can tell you that. That, James Cameron's Avatar, and Revenge of the Sith. Because they showed y'all, like, nah, we taking this shit down. The Sith destroyed the Archon Republic we living in. James Cameron's Avatar, they repelled these motherfuckers out the 5th dimension, which was known as Pandora. You see what I'm saying? And goddamn, you got Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, these ancient forces came back to fuck up. These ancient forces of your limbic system came back to fuck up the arcane forces of the Neocortex. So, there you go. I think that's it, y'all. I think that's pretty much it. Yep. That's it. I pretty much hit everything at that point. So, with that being said, are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions before I get up out of here? Brandon Crystal, I'm due for my Kundalini awakening soon, bro. I felt it in my spine. Good, good. A lot of people ask me what Kundalini awakens are like. My advice is always when it happens, and it's gonna happen, just to sit back and relax and allow Kundalini to do her thing. That's the best advice I can give for those. Can I go over the temptation points that Archon uses? Oh, the 12. There are 12 principles. Let's see here. Let's see. Yaldabaoth deals with ignorance. Io is vampirism. Sabaoth is fear. Astaphonis or Astaphe deals with envy. Adonios or Adonis deals with irritation, illusions, and resistance. Elios deals with pride. Horaios deals with greed. El Shaddai deals with instigation. Pericles deals with temptation. Our youth deals with suppressing your feminine energy or your Kundalini energy. You see what I'm saying? Typhon deals with soul snatching. Snatching your soul after it leaves this body and bringing it back down to the cycles of reincarnation. And then you got Iaconobus. You know, it deals with keeping you focused on this outer realm and not your internal self. That's the energies it deals with. You see what I'm saying? So they go to 12. They go to 12. And then you got the 13, which is Ophiuchus. It deals with wisdom, intellectual wisdom that's not guided or approved by the creator or the source of all. So those are the 13th. That's the 13th one. So there y'all go. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. Y'all don't have any other questions? I'm Marvin Jones. Put the word out. Share this with your friends. Let them know what it is. You can check out my other occult lectures on my YouTube channel, The Melanaut Order. And I'm out. Peace.